Hey, everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
Mr. President.
Thank you, Rob Pincus and Ron Carter. We are here at the Hyatt Regency in Virginia, obviously, for the NRA Board meeting. And let me tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised. There's good, there's bad, there's a little ugly. But we actually just got some really positive news just now. So remember that attendance petition that you all filled out, and so many of you mailed to us, well over 500 signatures, and we took it, turned it in. They spent hours, apparently, a lot of committee meetings, a lot of telephone calls, all sorts of stuff, trying to figure out how to actually implement that policy. They spent a lot of time on it, and the end result was a policy that I think sends a very strong message to all directors that they need to actually be here. They need to actually attend, and it leaves open some room for disciplinary actions. It doesn't quite have the teeth that I wanted. It doesn't have the teeth that we called for, but it is definitely a very strong policy. And we have posted a picture of that on the page.
Yeah, that's
you can read it.
And in certainly not being apologists for the board, not putting something in there the exact verbiage that we proposed. The reality is that there are a lot of competing interests, right? You've got New York state law governing a nonprofit. You've got existing bylaws, existing policies. You've got 149 years of tradition, right, that they don't have an attendance policy. And you've certainly got members of the board who've been considered valuable by some of the leadership who just simply don't show up. And there is that tiny little caveat that we must give that some people are doing a lot of work without actually showing up to the meetings. They may be very engaged and involved. So when you read the policy, and what we're really going to be interested in is not just how the policy reads, but how it's implemented. Of course, because there's subjectivity in it, because a lot of it's under the supervision of the president referring someone to executive council for potential action off the board, because we've known for a long time that the way the board works, that's what something outside of the board is necessary to really punish anybody. It'll be interesting to see how it's implemented. And what I've been assured is that this policy will now go into effect because it was adopted without any objection. I didn't hear any no votes either.
It was a unanimous aye.
Well, we got to be careful though, because it was unanimous in this. We've complained about saying something is unanimous.
Okay.
Before, because it wasn't really 100% of people saying yes. What we do know is it was not objected to, and I didn't hear anybody saying no.
It sounded like most of them said yes.
It was definitely not argued. And in fact, I will say it was one of the loudest and clearest yes votes of anything that was voted on.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to what to me is a much more important part of this meeting, which is that the atmosphere and the attitude of the board and of the organization to attending members, all of us, not just any of us personally or Save the Second, but all attending members, has been a 180-degree turn, almost without exception. Very welcoming, apologetic for the way we were treated back in September in many instances individually from board members, and that's been incredibly welcome. So I think that the organization wanted to send a message to the members that we're listening, we're trying, and there have been many indications of change, I think. Ron?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the first time that Save the Second has accomplished one of the 5 goals that we've had. And so this is a major win in that. We're making progress. You are changing your NRA for the better. You're making the NRA stronger. You're making the NRA more relevant. You're making it more effective. And as a result, it's becoming more accountable. We watched something earlier where Ted Carter called out a problem that needed to be addressed, and it was addressed. And it was refreshing to see that sort of accountability taking place on the board of directors. Now, does that mean that you can stop, that you can just sit back and watch the NRA go on to do great things? No. You have to be involved. You have to be engaged. We've got 4 other goals that absolutely need to be addressed, and you're the ones that are making the difference in all of this. So thank you so much for everyone that signed a petition, everyone that gave us a thumbs up, a share, whatever. All of your members that wrote letters to your directors. Guess what? Those are being received. Those are making a difference.
Yeah, we heard from several actually.
Yes.
That they've gotten a lot.
Man, I'm thrilled. Are you guys thrilled?
I'm thrilled, but now we'll go to the ugly.
Okay.
You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
Go for it. You're great at it.
I'm the bad guy, right? So the bad thing is that we were not successful in getting the term limits onto the agenda for the bylaws committee. But here's the deal. Here's the lesson learned. Yeah, we got some of our signatures were disqualified. Some of the people that signed that told us they were voting members turned out to be life members only. And sometimes that's just a misunderstanding because people don't realize they let their membership lapse or they miscount their years. I know you're counting down the minutes to your 5 years. So we need to give that another go. The good news here, and it is, embarrassing or whatever, disappointing that we didn't make that cut with our second petition drive, but it's important to note that should we do that again, and I think we will, and anything else we do in the future, the board did listen and did respond. We were disappointed as a group with the way it was sort of just kind of pushed aside seemingly, but what we have found out is a lot of work got done. A lot of work, Todd Rathner, Carol Frampton, Scott Bach, other members of the bylaws committee did a lot of work working with the secretary's office and with legal counsel, both inside and outside legal counsel, to make this attendance policy a reality. So I think the same thing will happen potentially, or at least serious consideration. I have a restored faith in how we can go about continuing to induce change or influence change or let the members of the voices of concerned members be heard. We just have to be more assertive and a little bit more thorough and have a little bit more of an edge next time in terms of that safety margin when we turn in a petition, like we did the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've learned quite a few things having to do with the petitions. I think when we come back, and we're going to do it again, when we come back and we have our next shot at it, I believe 100% will be successful.
For sure.
Absolutely, and as you well know, we all want a strong NRA, a relevant NRA, an effective NRA, and an accountable NRA, and that is in progress, thanks to you.
Yeah, so please share this video, share the news. There's lots of different groups online that are interested in seeing the NRA either, go away or fix itself or whatever. The message from our perspective, I think having been pretty clear, outspoken critics of current leadership and existing structured systems policies, that change is happening. It was evidenced here, and I'm excited to see, what else the members can do to influence the board, and what those board members who've been interested in change, who've stuck with it and sort of weathered the storm and continue to serve, what they're going to be willing to do and capable to do in the future as well. Because thumbs up to them, because obviously it was the board that did that.
Well, hey, that should wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
Maybe a podcast soon.
Yes,
podcast soon.
yes. We're going to be on. Who are we on tomorrow?
Spotter
Up.
Spotter Up.
Yep,
man.
with John Valentine. Right?
Yeah,
Yep.
super stoked about that, man.
I'm going to be teaching the first course of the year. I'll be on the range. You guys have fun. See you guys.
See ya.